I'm Krystle. I've loved dolls my whole life. I collect everything from porcelain to cloth, American Girl, neonates, and real care dolls. But my favorite is to collect and make Reborn dolls. There's Chloe, Grace, Jeremy, Maya, Yuki, Savannah, Zoe, Haley, Landon, Maisie, and Joshua. It isn't easy keeping up with my collection, but it sure is a lot of fun. Hi guys, so a while ago, I don't know how long ago it was, but I had added this on my list and totally forgot to go back and do this. So I apologize to whoever it was that had requested this video quite a while ago, probably a few months back or something. So I had someone request for me to talk about the oven I use when baking Reborn kits that I paint. Now, as you know, I've really slowed down production on my Reborns, and the main reason has to do with my health. It just was becoming really hard to keep up with the reborning because like sitting, you know, hunched over a table painting when your joints are hurting or your back's hurting, it's not fun. Or when you're like super fatigued that you just want to sleep, it's just hard to get going on painting. So I kind of took the pressure off of myself, and I just now kind of do it when the mood strikes me, and when I feel up to it. And you know, like I kind of burnt myself out on it because I was just reborning all the time, and it just kind of lost its for me. But anyways, someone was asking me about my oven. They wanted me to kind of give a like overview of it, a review of it. So this is a halogen oven. Now, I think most people in the US or other countries, a lot of them tend to go for the new wave ovens. And I think those are a little bit more expensive than this one. This one, I believe, is only manufactured or available in Canada. This was the one, this is the oven that, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if this is available in the US. I don't think it is, but it was kind of one of those things that before I even found out about using these kind of ovens for baking kits, I used to see the commercials on TV when we still had cable of Mr. T advertising this oven. And it was one of those things like you could buy like as seen on TV kind of things. And then our Canadian Tire store started to carry them. And so this is called the Flavor Wave Turbo Oven. And I bought it from someone on Kijiji, surprisingly, and it actually was brand new in package. And I got it for a heck of a lot cheaper than I would if I bought it in the store, because buying it in the store, I believe the oven itself was about $80. But then also when you're baking kits in here, you don't want this heat element that's inside. The heating element is inside the lid. You don't want that to be too close to your kits. So you need an extender ring. And the extender ring was sold separately for, I believe it was like an extra 20 something bucks. So it would have cost well over $100 for all of this brand new in store. And in fact, our Canadian Tire store only carried the oven. It did not carry the extender rings. So I would have had to order it online and pay shipping on top of that. But I kept an eye out on Kijiji, and I originally bought just the oven from someone else that was really cheap, and was planning to order the extender online. the oven that I got from them was like used, and it had like grease stains in it and stuff, and I tried to wash it as best as I could, but it wouldn't really come totally clean, and I was not comfortable putting a Reborn kit in it. So I resold that, and then eventually found someone on Kijiji selling the whole thing. They had the extender ring, they had the oven, all brand new, packaged, never used, and I believe I paid $60 for the whole thing. So that was a fantastic deal, and I absolutely love this oven. It does the job. In fact, I think it does the job better than my home oven that I used to use. A lot of times my home oven wouldn't totally cure the paint in one baking. I would have to bake it like several times before the paint was set, because I would test a little spot with a wet Q-tip to make sure it was adhered, and a lot of times the paint would come off on the Q-tip. And with this, that doesn't happen. The only time I've had that happen is if I have a kit that is a slicker vinyl or like an oily vinyl, and then I've basically had to either strip the kit and start over, or put a whole coating of matte varnish over the entire kit and to seal it all in, and then continue painting. There's some kits that are like that. The vinyl is like kind of oily or slick, and even if you wash it really well, just for whatever reason, sometimes just the fingers or the hands or the feet or just different parts of the kit, like the paint just won't stick to. So you kind of have to end up putting a whole matte varnish over the whole kit, and that helps the paint stick. And then usually baking it after that, the paint is good and it's set. So as long as the kit doesn't have an issue, the paint is 100% baked and cured, and it's fantastic. So what I did when I got this oven, I had read some tips online about using these ovens with Reborn kits first on Dolphin, and someone suggested that you get an oven thermometer and you test it first before baking, because I believe the temperature is 360 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 minutes. So I set the dial to that, and then turned it on and put an oven thermometer in just to see if it reached that temperature or not. And if it didn't reach it, then I would put this up a little bit, test it again. So I kind of fiddled around with it and eventually found the setting on the dial that works for this oven to get it to that temperature. And so after that, I no longer need the oven thermometer, because I know I just leave it set to that temperature on the dial. And then the awesome part is then you just take it off, you put your kit in, and it actually has a timer, so you can set it to the amount of time that it needs to bake. You put the lid on, you push this handle down, and it immediately starts baking. And the light, there's a light in there, and the light will kind of blink on and off throughout the process of baking. That's how it works. And it bakes your kit. And the awesome part is that I don't have to worry about, like, you know, when I used to use my home oven, I would have a timer set so that I would take out the kit in time. With this, you don't really have to worry, because as soon as this timer goes off, the whole oven turns off. So you don't have to be like right on it to get it out right away. However, I do try my best to get it out as soon as possible after the timer goes off, just to take the lid off, and then I let the kit cool in the oven. until, like, you know, because it's really hot to take it out with your hands right away. So I just kind of let it cool down a little bit. Then I, you know, take the pieces out and stuff like that. So that's basically how it works. It came with this little wire rack that you can place on the oven handle on the side. And this is a place to, you can just put your lid. Sorry, it's hard to do this when you're holding the camera. You just put the lid in there and it's a lid holder. So that's pretty awesome. And then this is the extender ring that just goes on top. And inside, it did come with a little wire rack that would kind of raise things up a bit. And I've heard like you can put polyfill on that to place your doll parts on or whatever. Or you can do what I do, which I prefer over using the wire rack. I just took the wire rack out completely. And I just use a regular old tea towel. This is like an old tea towel. And it's been washed lots of times, so I don't have to worry about any of this pattern transferring onto my kit. Doesn't happen. So I've folded it, this towel, I've folded it to fit in the bottom of the oven. And then I just arranged my doll parts. And so depending on the size of the kit, like this definitely would not hold a toddler size kit. And if it's like a 3-month or 6-month size kit, then you need to do the parts in pieces. So like you might put, you know, you might be able to fit 2 legs in there, bake that, take them out, put 2 arms in there, bake that, take it out, and put a head in there. And so it's a 3-step process with the bigger babies. Now, right now, I'm working on a Bountiful Baby Preemie kit. So I literally can put the head in the middle and I can arrange the limbs kind of, you know, just around it like this. And, you know, like I said, this brand I don't think is available in the US, but there's other brands of ovens that are exactly like this, and it would be the same process with those. And you just arrange them around in there, put your lid on, set your timer, and off it goes. It bakes. This doesn't need to be baked, so I'm not going to demonstrate that aspect, but it is, that's exactly how it works. And it's really a great investment if you're really, you know, getting serious about making reborns, whether it be for yourself or to sell. I highly recommend one of these types of ovens because it's really not healthy to bake it in your home oven because chemicals and things from the vinyl can get into your home oven, and then when you cook your food, it could get in your food. That's what I've heard. And I thought, you know what? I have enough health problems as it is. I don't need to be baking kits in our home oven. Now, if I'm doing a toddler kit like Grace here, or even a little smaller than her, I have no choice but to use our home oven for those because they will not fit in here. So when I have to do that, well, I really don't, other than Grace, I haven't made any other toddler dolls. And Stephanie's baby that we worked on, that was like a 6-month-old size, the Cuddles kit from Bountiful Baby, we were afraid she wouldn't fit in here and we would have to use my home oven, but thankfully we didn't. We did her legs, and then we were able to do her arms and her head like in 3 separate batches. So really, I haven't used my home oven at all since getting this. But like I said, if I had a toddler size kit, I would definitely need to use my home oven. And if you are in that situation, then after you've used your home oven and you've totally finished baking your Reborn kit in it, If it's a self-cleaning oven, run a self-cleaning. If it's not, I've heard that if you like crank your oven up to like, I think it's like 400 or 500 degrees Fahrenheit and just let it run for like, I don't know if it was like a half hour or an hour. It's hot enough to kill off the stuff in there. So you would do that before you have to bake food in your oven, or you can just like clean it yourself with oven cleaner or whatever, just to make sure. So yeah, I absolutely love it. And it does show you the stuff that comes off of the kits because it's a glass oven. And if you can see it, how this lid looks kind of murky, that's not dust on top of it because I keep it dusted and everything. That is the inside of the lid. And it's got this like oily substance on it. So that goes to show you, like, this is what goes into your home oven that you're cooking food in, which is not good. So yeah, basically, usually once I finish a doll, I will clean this out. I will wipe the inside of the lid, and I will also wipe the insides of the glass bottom, because as you can see, it too has that film on it on the inside. So I will do that every so often to get it like nice and clean. And I do have to use kind of like a little bit of a degreaser kind of spray to clean it. But other than that, it's great because I can just leave it plugged in here, because it's not going to go on unless you put the timer on and push this down. Like, this locks the lid in place, but as you see, because I don't have the timer on, it doesn't turn on. It only turns on once the timer is on. So it's a great oven. So, you know, for Canadians, or you could probably order it online. It's the Flavor Wave Turbo, but you can use the New Wave ovens or just any halogen oven that's like this. And just make sure you always get an extender ring. I don't know, some brands may come with it. Some you may have to purchase it separately. Depends on the brand. But I highly recommend it if you're really into reborning. It's not really the greatest idea to use the oven where you're going to also cook food. It's just not a good idea. Don't risk it. So definitely check it out. And you know what? Like, if you're not wanting to pay like brand new from the store, go online. Go check it out. Check your local Craigslist or Kijiji or, you know, Facebook Marketplace. And you might be able to find, you know, a brand new one for a lot cheaper like I did. So I hope you find this video helpful. And sorry for the shadow, it's the location of this. And it's actually good because that's one other thing I have to say before I go, is it's kind of a good spot that I have it because it's sort of close to our entrance. So what I will usually do, it's good because it's kind of like further away from our living room and stuff. So what I'll usually do is I will crack open our door window a little bit just to let some of the fumes out. And then I go into the office or the living room while it's baking, so I'm not breathing it in. And then when the kit is done baking, I will come over, and when I take off the lid, I will hold my breath. I hold my breath while I take the lid off and put it here, and I let my breath out once I walk away from the area. And then I just let it cool in here, and that's all you do. So yeah, I hope you found this really helpful, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.